Abuse, the twisted, distorted message that in order to be chosen, you have to be hurt. Unfortunately, a lot of us have gone through abuse and have been in abusive relationships and abusive situations. Today, we'll talk about Raj, a 38-year-old finance specialist, divorced, and came to me when he knew his breaking point was when he started feeling abused by his teenage son himself. And he knew that that had gone too far. And giving a little story behind Raj's background, he's a first-generation immigrant that was raised in a culture that wasn't very emotionally empathic, and being a man, he wasn't allowed to be very emotionally raw or vulnerable. So he got his quote-unquote emotions beat out of him as a child. And that feeling followed him when he came here to study. He felt bullied by his classmates. And when he got married, he was belittled and sometimes even hit by his ex-wife. And on top of that, he also feels very belittled, put down, and pushed around by not just his supervisors, but also his colleagues. His turning point, like I said, was when he started feeling that his own son was also putting him down, belittling him, and becoming actually a bit aggressive with him. And that's when him and I started working with each other. When we started working with each other, we had to start understanding where this concept of abuse started and why it's following him everywhere in his life. We used the mirror method, and just a quick recap, the mirror method is showing you the condition of your heart, the condition of your mind, or how you actually show up in your behaviors. And in this case, the condition of his heart was, I am not worthy. And the condition of his mind was, in order to be chosen, love requires, or closeness or intimacy requires being hurt, actually physically, psychologically, and verbally hurt. And then his behaviors added up to that in ways where he would invite more of those experiences. Either he would be a little belittling sometimes, or he would drink his problems away and check out and escape, or he would do some unconscious kind of passive aggressive behavior to kind of invoke more aggressive behavior from others in order to just get that attention, that negative attention, to confirm, okay, if you're paying attention to me and that attention includes some kind of pain, then that means you love me. Because he had this very distorted understanding of what love is because of his background of being abused and shut down and suppressed. And so we did a lot of trauma release work and a lot of development of his self-worth and rewriting that narrative, that mental concept or the condition of his mind that was equating love to being hurt. And that started drastically changing his relationship with his son, because he was now modeling a whole different way of showing up. It wasn't through aggression, it wasn't through being passive aggressive, it wasn't through suppression, it wasn't through escapism or self-medicating with alcohol, but it had to do with confronting the difficult feelings, talking about the hurt that comes with it, and also expressing the replacement of that pain, which is having more of an empathic, gentle, and compassionate approach. Now, this didn't come easy for Raj. Again, because he is also a man and a first-generation immigrant, tapping into his emotions felt like a point of weakness. So he needed to change his feelings about emotions altogether. And like I said, we did a lot of trauma release work in order for him to go into those deeper, more soft, more vulnerable areas and show himself love, compassion, gentleness, grace, and replace those feelings of hurt, aggression, abuse, and being so hard on himself or medicating himself. And once he had that breakthrough, like I said, his relationship with his son improved. He was finally feeling safe enough to go out there and start dating again, and met a more gentle, compassionate, heartfelt woman, not someone that was verbally abusing him and putting him down, and also accepted his children very well as part of her family as well. Then his relationships at work started changing because he started speaking up for himself a little bit more, and also had better self-expression and was able to set better boundaries and better expectations. And so he just started living a lot lighter afterwards. and having just way more fulfilling relationships and feeling so good about himself. Now, if you have ever endured any kind of abuse or are in an abusive relationship, please check out the hotline for domestic violence. That's for anyone who's in a relationship that's abusive. If you're a minor and you're enduring any kind of abuse, please check out the child abuse hotline here. If you're an elder, please check out the elder abuse hotline here. If you are neither in an elder, in a relationship, or a minor, and you still are enduring some kind of abuse, just check out any of these hotlines for other resources and use this mirror method and the content of this story to learn that you are important, you are worthy, and love does not have to hurt. Start with self-love, self-compassion, being gentle with yourself, caring about yourself, and get yourself out of the situation if you can. Okay? I'd love to hear from you in the comments section. I hope this video helped you. May peace be with you.